We have breaking Dodger news as the Dodgers have acquired Michael Kopech in a 3-team trade with the Cardinals and White Sox. Hey, this is Mike Nelson of Dodger Digest. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. 97% of you have not yet subscribed. The 2% of you that have subscribed, I want to thank you for subscribing. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any big Dodger news like this one. Michael Kopech has been acquired from the Chicago White Sox. This is from Bob Nightingale, who reported the story for the first time. Basically, we had a 3-team trade that came out just about 20 minutes ago with the Cardinals, White Sox, and Dodgers that had Tommy Edman going to the Dodgers, a player that has not played in 2024 but is expected to be coming back very soon and potentially becoming an everyday player for the Dodgers. But now, Michael Kopech has also been added to this trade, and now we also have information on the prospects that the Dodgers will be giving up in the trade. They already had given up Miguel Vargas, who's already a major league player for the Dodgers, but also we got the 3 prospects here in this report. We got Gerald Perez, Noah Miller, and Alexander Albertus, the 3 of them going to the Chicago White Sox. 3 Dodger prospects who have not yet debuted in the major leagues, but are on their way to the White Sox farm system. So, Michael Kopech, welcome to LA. The Dodgers definitely need some pitching help, especially in the bullpen, the way that the last few games have gone. Let's take a look at his last 5 games for the White Sox. Has been used quite a bit for a pretty bad White Sox team. And guess what? He hasn't given up any runs in his last 5 appearances. So he has been lights out for sure for a pretty bad White Sox team. So this is actually a pretty big piece to the 3-team trade. I think everybody right now is focused on Tommy Edman, but you have to also look at Michael Kopech. Look at Michael Kopech's stats the last few years, and they're all pretty good. I mean, keeping his ERA below 4 between 2018 and 2022. Was out for a few years with injury. Opted out during the coronavirus pandemic. Didn't play in 2020. 23 was kind of a rough year, going 5.43. But this year, after a rough start, he has definitely settled in. He's 2-8 so far this year. But look at his last 5 starts. He's definitely been on the upside for sure, and that's pretty key. So, wanted to talk a little bit more about Michael Kopech here. Also, if you take a look at his stats, over 120 innings pitched last year. But there is, of course, some issues that you have to look at as well. 91 walks last year in 120 innings. This year, he's definitely kept it a little lower, only 24 walks this year. So that's a good sign. But he does have the tendency to walk batters, and that's of course something that you don't want come playoff time. That is not what you want at all. Now, going back to part of this trade, Tommy Edman, who's been on the injured list all season. He had a surgery on his wrist last October. He hasn't played at all this year in the major leagues. He played in Double-A Springfield. But like we talked about in the last video, Tommy Edman is going to be a huge piece of this trade. He potentially could become an everyday player of the Dodgers, the way the injury bug has been hitting the infield as of late. And of course, with Freddie Freeman dealing with some personal issues right now as well, not being with the team. That also plays into this trade. Tommy Edman is a utility player. He can play all over the field, and I think that's what interests the Dodgers for sure in this trade. But now let's go back also to what did they give up in this trade. So going back to the original report, Bob Nightingale reported that Michael Kopech, of course, is part of this trade, but also the Dodgers gave up Gerald Perez, Noah Miller, and Alexander Albertus. So let's look at Perez's numbers. Right here, he's been playing with the Rancho Cucamonga Dodgers this season, and he's looked pretty good, hitting over 250 most of the years, even hitting 270 in the Summer League as well. So he's definitely, been a solid player for sure for the Dodgers farm system. This is Albertus' numbers. Also in the minor leagues, hitting 340 this year. So definitely a player that I think a lot of teams were interested in and now he is on his way to the Red Sox. White Sox, I should say. We don't have much information on Noah Miller, a high school prospect for the Dodgers. Now, with Miguel Vargas, the other player that the Dodgers gave up in this trade, I mean, he has really struggled at the plate for sure. Hitting only, this year it's a little better, hitting 239, but last year hitting 195, playing, half the year before that hitting 170. So just has really struggled at the plate for the Dodgers for sure when it comes to Major League hitting. And I think that's why the Dodgers decided to move on from Vargas, even though he's still a young player. He still has potential to get better. He's going to, of course, get his opportunities with a really, really awful Chicago White Sox team. Sorry, White Sox fans out there, but the White Sox, as we know, are a pretty bad team. They're sellers at the deadline. They're just trying to sell the best players they got and give opportunities to some young players like the 3 prospects the Dodgers just sent over. And, of course, Vargas was not really a prospect anymore. A Major League player now going to get a chance to maybe play every day on a White Sox team in Chicago and build up his career. So the best of luck to Vargas, who played with the Dodgers the last few years, made some great defensive plays. Definitely, I remember seeing him play out there on the field, making some great defensive plays, but definitely has to work on his hitting. So does this trade make sense for the Dodgers? Well, I think it does make sense for the Dodgers. I really like the Kopech pickup because the Dodgers just need some help in the bullpen. I mean, Kopech's got to be better than some of the guys they got in there right now. And despite Kopech's high walk ratio per game and also his high ERA, the hope is that he can fix that as the games go along here in the 2024 season. He has in the last 5 games hasn't given up any runs for the White Sox. So him coming to the Dodgers, maybe he could build on that. Now he's on a contending team, a team that's trying to win the World Series, and he can up his game even higher. And also Tommy Edman, as we know, I mean, Tommy Edman has not played in 2024, but the potential is there for him to really be an asset in the infield. With the Mookie Betts injury, the doubts at first and second base right now. I mean, that is a big. Also the Miguel Rojas injury, can't forget about him. So getting Tommy Edman gives them just a little more cushion to maybe eventually put Tommy Edman in, every day if they have to, right? I mean, if that's what it comes down to, if Betts just can't really be fully healthy, they can always have Tommy Edman there ready to go. And also for the future, right? Tommy Edman could be a player that the Dodgers keep long term. Has played his whole season with the Cardinals. As we've gone over his stats, the guy is a solid player when he's healthy, plays almost every day. And can definitely get on base, which is very important. A solid hitter is on his way to the Dodgers. So, 3-team trade, Tommy Edman, Michael Kopech, welcome to LA.